So guys, I know there's no Flash today, but you know what? That doesn't stop me from talking about other things that the Flash was in. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, the DC animated movie. For those of you that don't know, this is based off a comic book by the same name, a comic that I actually read this time. So I actually know that this movie actually stuck pretty true to the source material. There were some things that weren't added that was in the books, but that's because the books, there were even like spin-offs from the Flashpoint story where it expanded on that universe, that alternate timeline that they had created in the comics, and they were allowed to be a little bit more detailed with it. In this one, it just concentrates on the Flash's point of view of the story, but it gets some of those other details across just as nicely. So let us get to this, okay guys? Are you ready? Why am I doing this? First of all, because if you saw the preview to the next Flash episode, Wells is going to reveal himself to Barry that he is the Reverse Flash in some form or another. I don't know how exactly, but if you look at it, it looks like Barry's going to find out in the next episode. Maybe, maybe not, but it looks like that's going to be the case. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I talk about something that the Reverse Flash was in? And I know he wasn't in the 90s TV series, so I thought to myself, well, then I'll, talk about the best animated DC film of all time, in my opinion. Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox. So let's get to this. First of all, what is this movie about? Basically, Barry is thinking about the day his mom died, and he wishes that he could change it. He wishes that he could go back in time to change this. So after an attack from the Rogues Gallery, who is being led by the Reverse Flash says something to Barry that kind of has him thinking about changing the past. So he goes so fast that he doesn't even realize that he went back in time and changed the past. So when he wakes up the next day, he realizes that the world that he thought he knew wasn't the same. It's different now. His mom is around, but she doesn't know about this Flash character. No one, in fact, knows about this Flash character that he is talking about. His mom is alive, and Batman is no longer Bruce Wayne. Now he's Thomas Wayne, and the Flash needs his help to restore everything because Batman is one of the smartest people that he knows. Things in the world is not what it seems. So let's get to this, guys. What is this movie? What do I think about this movie? That's the main question I should be asking. Not what is this movie? I just told you. First of all, let's get into Barry Allen. I really think the Flash is a great character. I liked every version that he has been in, including the Justice League Unlimited animated series. I love, Grant Gustin's take on the character, and this character is just as good as any of the others. I noticed, though, in this version that the Flash is less comedic and more serious. He's more of a serious and he's not the joke, the comedic joke that other versions have made him out to be. I feel like even Grant Gustin's take, there's still a little bit of a klutz in his performance. He's not, the world's greatest superhero. But in this one, Barry seems to be more wiser and more in control. He can handle a situation seriously and take the matter at hand. And yeah, he doesn't seem to be the butt of everyone's joke, He seems to really be in control of things and be respected by his fellow, superheroes. I really liked Professor Zoom, aka the Reverse Flash, or whatever his real name is that I'm not going to pronounce because I'm just going to screw that up. Basically, he is what he is. He's the Reverse Flash, a more evil take on, his suit is even the reverse colors of the real Flash, and he definitely is Barry's Joker, I would say, the Flash's Joker. what Batman, what the Joker is to Batman, what Lex Luthor is to Superman, Reverse Flash is to Barry. And yeah, I really like those type of villains that, they've caused so much damage to the hero that they are their ultimate villain. I hope we get to see more incarnations of this character because he definitely brings something interesting. Now, something that's in the comics that's not mentioned in the movie is that the Reverse Flash is the one that murdered Barry's mother. And I'm wondering why they didn't add that. Maybe they didn't have enough time, but it was something that I think makes the Flash's backstory and his connection to Reverse Flash much more interesting. But it didn't take down from the movie. I still enjoyed it. I thought the character was still great. Either way, he's still menacing and he's still conniving. So either way, the character is still just as good as he is in the comics. I also really like the alternate reality stuff. This is really cool because there's a lot of things, especially if you don't know too much about the comics, like there's a lot of characters in this movie. A lot of them I know who they are, like Lois Lane, Aquaman, the big mainstream characters. I know who they are. But there's some smaller characters that I haven't seen in other versions before that I weren't too familiar with. So I know I'm missing out still a lot. But this is definitely a film that a lot of DC fans will love because sometimes some of them are just small cameos like Lex Luthor and Deathstroke, and then there's other characters with bigger roles like Wonder Woman and Aquaman who are at war with each other. I mean, this is like a fan fiction come to life, and they really go all out on the violence. This is probably the most violent any DC animated film has come so far. Maybe neck and neck with Batman The Dark Knight Returns. But yeah, it pretty is a very violent film, and Wonder Woman, I mean, there's even a scene where Wonder Woman kills a couple of kids, which is like, who is this movie targeted for? It's like, it shows you how far the DC animated films will go, and how much more leeway Warner Brothers Animation gives the creators of these, these direct-to-videos. It pretty is amazing. And would I show this to a kid? Maybe not. There's stuff in here that like goes beyond the typical violence. I think if a kid does watch it, the parents should be there to watch it with their kids and explain to them, if they see their kid is getting a little discouraged, then yeah, then they can't handle it. But I don't think this is made for young kids anyways. I think this is made for more of a teen audience, like maybe above 13 and over, I would say. So, but there's a lot of really cool stuff for the older fans as well. I mean, as an older audience, I love this. I think this is like the best direct-to-video that DC and Warner Brothers has done, in my opinion. There's a lot of really good ones out there, and there's a lot of okay ones and not so great ones, but this is definitely one of the best in my opinion. And the way the whole story unfolds, I love alternate realities and timelines and time travel. To me, that if you watch some of my previous videos like X-Men Days of Future Past, I go into how much I enjoy time travel stories. I think they're fun and interesting, and they can give you ideas of what those characters could have went through if the writers and directors decide to take them in another path. This is sort of that what if scenario, and I think in this movie they really play with it really well. And once again, you have to know the DC characters to really understand what the hell's going on, because if you don't, then you're going to be a little bit lost. As long as you know the mainstream characters, I think you'll understand what's going on. As long as you know Batman, Superman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, the mainstream characters, if you know those, you'll be fine. So guys, with that being said, I really enjoyed this movie. I have given it a 9 out of 10. I really thought it was solid. The animation, the designs, I wasn't too fond of, but they grew on me in time as, as time went on and I rewatched the movie more and more. Yeah, I think the designs are still not perfect, but the animation, when you get into those action sequences, WB and Warner Brothers Animation is just incredible at that stuff. They do this amazing action sequences in animation on, this is not like Disney or The Incredibles or Pixar, whatever. This is not that quality, but to see what they can do on a lower budget animation, they really do a great job, and it's really a lot of fun to watch. And this movie was actually the one that, I wanted to see a live action Flash right after this movie was over. And now we have the TV show, which is freaking amazing, because I think we need a solo Flash. And I hope this helps DC and Warner Brothers consider doing more Flash-centric stories and maybe a solo story at one point, because I don't think the Flash right now needs the Justice League to support him anymore. I think they can finally do a direct-to-video where the Flash is on his own and see what they can do with that. I'd really love to see a Flash solo film, because I really think it could work. So with that being said, guys, take care. And yeah, we still have a few more weeks left until the next new Flash. I don't know, maybe I'll do another Flash review of maybe the 90s Flash show. I'll see. Anyways, take care.